Hey everybody, welcome to our podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Karen.
And I'm Don. This is Walking Dead, episode 31. And we're all about the hit AMC show Walking Dead, but we also love to talk about anything else to do with zombies, creepy things, and stuff like that.
Or the other
Sharpshooter.
yeah. Oh my god, you know who gave me last night?
The guy from True Blood.
Yes, the actor who plays Lafayette.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think he was at the Lab Awards last night, and because his they were nominating one of the short films, short documentaries that they did about a bass player who was out in the 70s, and
Yeah, you never know. So we have a special guest today, Karen's friend Don. Hi, Don. Thanks for coming on. And how did you find out about us? I guess we told you.
Well, I met you guys in January. You talked about your podcast. I'm a big podcast fan. I really get into zombies, so then I went home and had all the episodes.
didn't meet me in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know for 6 years.
Yes.
Okay, so on today's show, we'll have some of the latest news about The Walking Dead. We're going to talk about the first bit of the We're Alive podcast, which a lot of people have mentioned ever since we started this podcast almost a year ago. People have been asking us to listen to it. So we're going to have a test 5, which this week Dawn had the idea of doing our 5 favorite comics. So that'll be fun. And we'll have a little bit of this week in zombies, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. Before we get started, our friend Lisa, you know Lisa, where we watched the finale, she sent me this information about this German zombie movie that's coming out in the Middle East called Rambach.
That's so
that's one of the things.
cool.
Sorry. Well, it looks really great, and I guess AMC, the theater, is doing this thing called AMC Bloody Disgusting Screen Series, where they only play these horror movies that AMC theaters, like limited edition thing.
That's so great.
And this is what I like about this preview is it's a zombie movie that features I think 2 people, so it's small, and they're trapped in an apartment building. And then you realize that the zombie movies I like the best, they give me the best, the greatest thrills, like the siege ones, where people are trapped somewhere, the original Living Dead, and they're surrounded by the pressure cooker,
Yeah,
so it's a great one.
and it's in good reviews. Got reviews from San Francisco Chronicle. Guys saying it's which is good actually. It's it only plays twice a week from May in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's only 64 minutes long, but the reviewer says we're seeking out. Simple. Michael Ryder will in the farmhouse for his girlfriend. When zombie makes him a prisoner in the farmhouse.
It's playing across country, but you're saying actually, right?
Yeah.
You have the times there?
I do actually.
Cool.
It's 10 Wednesdays and then on Fridays. So
So you know?
late.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. It's called Rambach.
I'll put a link up.
RAMBOC.
And also, I don't know why I was inspired last night. I had to remember what's on the again. I only seen it once, I realized, so it was great.
Yeah, I know.
Lots of stuff I forgot.
Yeah,
like the, how they did a lot of shots in slow motion. So you see someone with milkshakes playing off this way and their brains going the other way.
Or the zombie pole dancer running after the guy. She's in full zombie quick pasties.
That's easy to watch.
This is a movie called Steakland, and this review is also in San Francisco Chronicle. It's a review titled "Simply Steak." It's filled with things, bloodsuckers, but the vampire movie labeled as a film to choose their antagonists to stand with film contrary expectations. Steakland first action is interesting characters. You have the big category movie should be filled with zombie. The movie should be filled with zombie movies with western, but there's a scary intimacy and civil tension that makes the movie a closer cousin to the Mad Max beyond the room. It's looks indie. It's they love it. He's Jamaican little guys jumping on the seat clapping. So that's a big thing. They love cinematography, fans of the survival horror movie. This is a bold and memorable step towards the genre. And advisory which I love. Imagine Cormac McCarthy's Road. Love Sky. Don't bring kids.
I see that road. I see that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go into the news about Walking Dead. So have you seen the whole series? The show? Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. Cool.
Twice.
Well, I watched it, and then I started your podcast. I watched it.
Get a little closer to the mic. Yeah, just make sure you got it. So did your
Yes, how do you like it?
Right on. Okay, let's get into it. So the action figure pre-orders, as you mentioned last time, you can pre-order action figures for Walking Dead at entertainmentheart.com. They're $15 each or $55.99 for a set of 4, and she sets 4. And they're pretty cool. So if you're into that, go order those and send us some.
Yes, please.
I'll probably, I never wanted to be an action figure collector because I thought I'd probably mess with it.
Like I'm for your
Yeah, but I'll probably get one of these.
I love them. They're cool.
Which one would you get? That's a good question. I want to get a zombie as long as it's a really good zombie. Probably a zombie. Yeah, I love zombies.
Did we find out who made these action figures?
I mean, it's Tom McFarlane.
Yeah, so they're great.
Yeah, they look cool. And she's the 4 from the comic and 4 from the TV show. I think they're 2 rips, so it looks slightly different.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's cool.
He's got Peter Jackson. Well,
No, he doesn't.
I hope that's
So then, okay,
Just say that loud.
maybe we'll get back to him and you'll be on this time.
That'd be nice.
Anyway, hey, David, David Stilson?
No, just boycotting.
So there were a bunch of interviews with Robert Kirkman since the last show. I picked some stuff. He says season 2 scripts are finished and they should be back in Atlanta filming in the next few weeks. That's good news.
They're waiting until it's really,
Yeah, that's what he said. Waiting until it's the hottest one possible.
right, and then they're very great.
He hinted that Stephen King and Son Joe Hill are signing agreement to write for the show. That was season 3. Yeah, you're Stephen King. Yeah.
I have a question. Stephen King has a sentence already.
He's a horror writer.
No kidding. His name is not King.
I don't know if it's
Interesting. Maybe one of Ryan's rest on his dead.
Oh yeah, could be. Or he had an affair with the demon.
That's the most likely explanation.
Let's see. Where did I? Kirkman said Michonne. He keeps going back on his character Michonne back and forth that he may or may not show up until she may or may not show up until season 3. It's one of my favorite characters from the comic. Did you read the comic at all?
I read the first 3 volumes of the
Isn't Michonne shown up yet? No. No. Okay. She's badass. So I know they're gonna have her as long as the show keeps going, but now it's like we'll be next season. The Onion AV Club, which I love, had a really good interview with Kirkman. I'm gonna read parts of it. He says, "What happened to your season 1 writers? I mean, that's the thing about did they fired or not?" He says, "I don't know where anyone got fired. Basically, Chick Edley was brought on to be the head of the writers' room and be a showrunner while Frank was running the first season. He thought Frank was gonna go off and write movies after the first season. When Frank decided to stay, Chick decided to do his own TV show, which is FX, which is Powers by Brian McManus, who's Robert Kirkman's Arch Enemy. None of it. Well, it's not yet. They're working on it. The comic is I'm actually the comic is really good. So he decided to do Powers. He didn't want to work in Frank anymore. And it says a lot of writers decided to go with him. No one got fired. Doing that big deal. Writers changed from season to season. That's something I didn't know before. Reason writers left because they were following him. And I guess that happened before the ratings came out, so they didn't know how big a hit Walking Dead was going to be.
Right.
So they got some big talent on this year, but I hope it's even better actually.
Well, they get Stephen King to do anything. They'll do a lot of people.
Yeah, he's done some really bad TV too, so you never know. Well, actually. There was a show he did. I can't remember.
Right,
He did The Shining, a remake, but he wrote it, and it was fine. But after Kubrick's version, it was like, why do you want to do that? I don't think he really liked Kubrick's version. I'm not sure he liked certain things about it, So I don't know. Kirkman told Heat.com that Walking Dead has a full rights after season 2. Scott Gimple from Flash Forward, Angela King from Carriers, Evan Riley from Rescue Me, which is really good, and freelancer plus Airborne, new executive producer Glenn Mazzara, who was on The Shield, and Robert Kirkman. He said all that reporting about Breaking Fire, no freelance, that's something they really had. So they asked him, how many requests do you get from friends wanting to play zombie on the show? He's like, quite a bit actually. I'd like to be able to tell everyone, yes, there are only so many zombies you can get into a show, and everyone on the show has a friend they're doing that. We'll probably never run out of zombies. I like doing that. He said next season we'll be seeing any comic personalities or celebrities making zombie cameos. He said there are a few people who asked me maybe some fun cameos or comics in the second season. I don't want to tell these people out. I might honestly Stan Lee asked to be a zombie on the show. That's possible. So
I saw something in the news about Stan Lee possibly being a zombie. He's also so cute.
I saw you guys.
No, it was good.
It was pretty good. I liked it. He did it.
Yeah, sure does. Yeah.
It was pretty good. I was happy with it. I'm excited about the Avengers. You know about this? So that in the comics, the Avengers is Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and then the other heroes are part of it. So they're gonna have Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.
Yes,
and Chris Evans replace Thor, and guy who's playing Captain America in that movie that's coming out on another show.
Oh.
All of them, and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk are gonna be in a movie together. The Avengers, directed and written by Joss Whedon.
Oh my god!
Wow.
So that's next year. So that's pretty cool.
I heard that there was going to be there was a pilot done of Wonder Woman, and it did not get
No,
made.
it sounded pretty bad too.
Yeah. They tried to say their costume was terrible.
Yeah, it's not sure. But it was by the guy Alec Beal. It sounded like just like Alec Beal, but Wonder Woman.
Terrible idea. Hello, writers out there, bad idea.
Okay, next, Emma Bell, who played Amy, you may remember, she's not a zombie. She had an interview in Indiespy.com. They asked, do you think there's potential for Amy to reappear on the show? Perhaps flashback. She says, I think there's a lot of potential. They're writing down writers room, there's lots of rumors rolling around, so you never know. I love that. I made myself very clear that I love that. I think I talked their ear off about bringing her back. I put it out there. Maybe she's a guardian angel, maybe she's a ghost, or maybe everyone dreams about her in every episode. So we just make this game show. We'll see how they'll go back. So
She just wants to get her off.
a flashback in my movie. Anything else like a ghost? Or if you see her shambling by a zombie, I guess that'd be okay.
All right, you're gonna think of the lamest person ever. I thought she got
She's dead.
Yeah, she said.
right.
Yeah.
So I think her back. She's not. She's a zombie.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. They Andrew Shire's head. Yeah, you're right. So she came
She's
back.
back.
Yeah, she wants to
Too bad.
but just I like to mention the comic. Even though we're not a spoiler show, but it's really good lately.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's always good. But there's a turning point in how the survivors decide to deal with the zombies, and Kurt said this is actually a turning point of the series. And
We're gonna show them lots of love. Like,
no,
kindness.
that's not it. I don't want to say this,
Yes.
those people will know.
They gotta do it. Just saying.
Finally, the novel that we talk about every once in a while, there's a novel written by Robert Kirkman and Dave Valentina. It's been revealed that it's called The Walking Dead: Rise of the Governor. Here's a picture of the cover. So I don't think you know the governor's character that appears later. People speculate that Merle is the governor. He's a really bad guy. Let's just leave it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and he runs a small town. And he's pure evil, and so this could be cool. I'm excited to do that. I'm sure he probably started out as an okay guy.
What do you think you can work with that?
No, I don't. And especially now, like since that's come up, a lot of people on the show have said in interviews Merle's not the governor. So I mean, it's good. I don't think so. Because the governor is he's very he knows how to put up a front because he has to run this town, right? So he knows how to have charisma, lead people, manipulate people. And Merle is just a hot. He's not like that. So these are kind of going. Okay, so that's it for news. Let's move on to talk about We're Alive. I mentioned that We're Alive was in the first 2 chapters, and somehow Karen interpreted that to be the first chapter.
Oh my god. Let me explain. The first chapter is broken down into 3 parts.
Three, so how does that go to?
So I thought, he just did the first 2 podcasts.
Oh, I see.
And I thought I was being over cheap. All 3.
You listen to
You
you.
I do. That's the one I guess. You're absolutely right.
Okay, that's enough. Definitely for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have an opinion.
So what's your opinion?
I loved it. That was great. I can listen to that more. Especially I have a long commute. And yeah, that was great. I don't always the last one. So the third part of the first chapter brought on some couple of new. There were always interesting characters. And from the part I love the voices. I think the actors are really good. And I think the story's terrific. It's great level time radio.
Yeah.
I love that. I really
Yeah,
do. When I went to go see Art last years ago, he first came out on stage. And it's entirely dark. I think I said this before. But he before he brought lights, he said radio is the most visual medium there is. And he's right. Radio is incredibly visual because everything takes place between the 2 earbuds.
Right.
And for me,
If we said puppy dogs, everyone's listening to me thinking
right.
puppy dogs.
Exactly. It's very visual. Yeah. And so I love it. It's really great. I listen to that a lot more. But you both listen more. So what do you think?
I love the show. I'm a big fan of the when we're going to do a lot of podcasts. Like your podcast, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And I really have to deal with those radio dramas of the 30s, 40s. So I talked to you and listen to all the chapters so far.
Awesome.
So you're getting them as your theme too.
I listen to that.
How frequently do they add new episodes?
It's usually every week they skip, but every Monday.
Every Monday. That's great. This is free. This is the coolest
Yeah,
thing ever. It's on iTunes. You can free. Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, there's so many podcasts out there, and maybe there's a whole subsection of podcasts I'm aware of. This is the first one I've known of that does like a radio play style thing like this, and it made me really happy that podcasting has become so popular because they're doing something like this. It's sort of a callback to you can imagine everybody sitting on the radio back in the 30s, gather around, listen to their show, and it's just like that. And it's really popular too. I mean, yeah, it's
Really?
it's you're in mind.
Where do you record it? You know?
Oh, I was looking that up. I'm not sure. I think it's here in California somewhere, but I'm not positive.
I'm assuming it's LA.
Yeah, I think it's LA. Yeah, I think it is. That's where it takes place.
It's great.
Yeah.
Keep it up, folks. It's wonderful.
So another thing I thought was interesting is like Walking Dead. This is an example of a single what happens on the story just keeps going. You know,
Yeah,
everything else
right.
we talked about really like that. This is like that.
Right.
I think that's the idea.
Listen to the podcast after a while. I started to get into the Walking Dead.
Oh yeah. There is a podcast about the show. And I listened to it a little bit. I didn't want to listen too much because I might get spoilers.
Oh, it's a podcast about
Yeah, they were joking that maybe next year there'll be a podcast about everybody. But I really liked the music and sound effects, and not just the music, but there's like I guess it is still music, but it's like background sounds, things like that. They do that was a really great effect.
They're very high quality. Is there anything about how it progresses that surprised you?
Definitely don't really get into any spoilers,
Yeah.
but their take on zombies is really interesting.
You learn more about them obviously as time goes along.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. Just get into what's going on.
They describe a lot of zombies, things I've never seen zombies before.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
so it's interesting.
I have a question related. In The Walking Dead comic, not just do they get into what happened about zombies? What
No,
in the first one happened?
no, and Robert Kirkman doesn't want to. Yeah,
Yeah. That's interesting.
that's one reason why people who read the comic a lot of them don't like the whole CC thing because that's not in the spirit of how comics have been so far. You know?
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I would say is in The Walking Dead, it's like your classic Romero zombies, whereas in real life, they're not real zombies. They have different qualities.
Interesting. I mean, so far, I listened to the first 3 chapters, and they seem the only thing that I can tell is they're really fast. Oh yeah, well yeah, I guess yeah, that's true.
They
But there's other things too,
the
right?
car. They get to a guy. Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
But what do you think of the zombie sounds?
I haven't heard too many so far. Sorry.
They're in first.
I mean, yeah, some, but they're right now.
So what do you think ones you have heard?
I like all the sounds. I like everything so far.
There's some sort of like monster quality more than just a zombie.
I thought they sounded really great, but they sound kind of almost electric like that, which is kind of how I sound in a zombie. Actually, I really like the music. I like the music. The piano is really good. And I think the music is done by the wife of the guy that's writing the whole thing. You know, so it's like a team, a couple of the whole thing. But anyways, this little piece here has some of the music and some zombie sounds, so you can hear a little bit of it, the weirdness and stuff. Doesn't get long.
We're Alive, a solo story. Chapter 3, The New Arrivals. Part 2 of 3. We'll catch these starts setting up so that when we get back, we see the end.
Oops. What happened? One of those close to the edge, still up.
Oh, well, that's... Yeah, I think, yes, the girl is...
What's it doing?
It's not good.
What was it doing?
Calling it zombies.
Oh, they talking. Well, that's not good.
Zombie
That's not good. They're gonna start organized and they're gonna like the office.
So some of our listeners wrote in and said it gets better later on. Do you agree
I
with
can
that?
agree. I felt like the first chapters where it felt like people were being strict. Yeah, I felt
Yeah,
like better.
Oh, yeah.
It's more great.
Yeah, because I have any complaints with it. Some of the acting felt kind of flat. Yeah, and some it's not even good. Some might be really good. Like the main guy, Michael, he's great.
Yes, he's great,
Yeah, and some of the ones, but so you're saying that the acting general improves.
Overall, there's a couple times in the first chapters where I felt like it was
Like the
really
janitor.
I have
The janitor. The guy.
I don't know about these so much.
I was like,
I have a lot of ocean actually. Thanks, Jared.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, some of the other ones, it's a little bit more like extreme.
Some female characters have
Yeah. Who's your favorite character in the whole thing?
I gotta say, Michael, and you haven't gone that far, but it's not in the first chapters.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. And I like Riley, the French girl. Yeah, she's a good actress too. And her character. Yeah, and she's real confident and everything. Lots of pegs. Yeah, she's one of the pegs.
As a series goes along, the characters really develop more emotional.
Well, that's one of the things I really like actually in the too is they do a pretty good job of giving them linear characters. You know, to make strong characterization. Like Michael in the beginning is a good leader, and Angel is inexperienced and wants to lead. You can tell he's kind of fuck up. and Riley is very confident and Pegs is kind of sweet nature, but insecure. You know, so it's good for audio. You can be able to tell them apart. So I think they did a good job of that. So yeah, my favorite thing about it is just it's so unique because it's especially us. You know, maybe not my grandma, but
Yeah.
for it to have this audio play.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And it's great because my name has a really annoying commute. So I'm in my car a lot, and I can keep listening to NPR and drive myself insane, or I can indulge in some real life podcasts, and that seems to be amazing often.
Yep.
What I enjoyed about Seven in this podcast is I had a whole bunch of them to listen to, so I had hours to listen to, really into the story. And then once I finally got caught up and listened to last week's podcast, it only about 15 minutes long. It wasn't quite satisfying just that kind of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Not much happened this time.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like the same thing happened with last time. I watched the whole first season, you know, in like a couple of days, 2-3 days, and then I had to wait after that. So then I have to wait when you get it all.
Yeah, every time, right?
I think I say all parts of the chapters which chapter once.
Yeah, that's actually right. That does sound good.
Okay, so good stuff. Do you have anything to say about any of
Well,
that?
the other thing I found was kind of fun you didn't get to is in the second chapter they start like ads, which is the other things that you pay bills. It's kind of fun to go from aquariums to
Yeah,
zombies.
that made me think of the ultimate radio show. I think it's like the same thing.
I'm going to do something product placement during the middle of the podcast.
Right, exactly. That's great.
Let's put
It's terrific.
They're really kind of stuff.
One other thing, I listened to it on my iPod and I'm trying to concentrate on the dialogue, and it's kind of concentrating on dialogue and punctuated by gunfire, which can be a little rough on the ears. So later on in the podcast, they started like disclaimer that they talk podcast means loud sudden noises
Oh, wow.
and illustrations.
They should interesting. They should level that out.
Yeah, no reason to laugh after.
Something like
Okay, that's our show.
Hey, not
All right, we'll take a break then. We'll come back.
Sounds
Do this.
Attention shoppers, it has top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
This week is our top 5 favorite comic books ever. Or series or whatever. And you said that's embarrassing. We'll see. I love superhero comics. So, okay, let's start. How about guess first?
Hey, so my top 5 is the nod to Carl, because I didn't get into comics as a kid like you did. I got into comics through my kids taking my son to Lance Fantasy World in the same cruise, which was in the movie Lost Boys. And
Yeah,
Joe's in the movie.
Frog Brothers in the
Yeah, they've been around for 5 years at Lance Fantasy World.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
and the decor on the inside is like the inside of the Destruction Universe. Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I love that.
How have I not
So you can there too, I put my cards and then you comics. And I love reading my kids. So again, my list is not to Carl. So some of these are ones that we appropriate to read with younger or older kids. Then put a splash of violence in there. Again, not Carl. So my number 5 is Bone by Jeff Smith, which I read to both my kids, and it was published between 91 and 2004, originally in black and white. And Jeff Smith both wrote and illustrated. And it's a real fun mix of both lighthearted comedy and dark fantasy. It has a feel of Lord of the Rings. The 3 main characters are Bones, Boneville, and they kind of offer kind of comedy, a little bit like Casper with legs.
Yeah, they're kind of cartoony.
Oh,
Yeah,
you read this too?
Some of the other characters are more Richard Donner, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
Oh, wow.
And everybody loved this was a very beloved series. And when I first started reading it, I kind of didn't get it. But the more I got into it, the more I realized I was falling for it too. Is it had that effect?
Initially, it's very lighthearted. There are 9 books and then a few other books that do some more history and stories in the series. I think the series gets more kind of metaphysical. It deals with the Dreamtime, the dragons that help our people of the valley.
How interesting. I noticed it's put out by Scholastic.
Exactly where all the kids it's going to be fun.
Wow.
Okay, cool. Karen?
My little background, I actually don't have a complete list because, honestly, although I'm a big comic fan of Flynn comics, Doonesbury, Far Side, I had big companions when I was a kid, and I'm looking for the Doonesbury comics and not understand stuff. When I was a adult, I'm like, oh, that's right. All kinds of other kinds of comics, the superhero comics, not exactly my genre, but there are some that I love. There are a few I love, and my 5 is The Tick.
Yay.
Yeah, The Tick. It's awesome, it's funny, it's weird, it's well done, I just love it.
It's hilarious. This actually, you know, I haven't read the comic all that much, but have you ever seen this cartoon?
Yes,
It is good, the
yeah,
cartoon?
yeah,
It is, okay.
yeah.
It's this, you know about The Tick?
I've seen a few episodes of the years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. This is big, bulky guy. He's this really enthusiastic superhero, and he's got this accountant dressed like a moth that kind of chunky as a sidekick.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really funny. And one episode of the cartoon, this evil guy, Chairmaster or something, he like starts to his plot to laser his name onto the moon, and he only gets partway there, so it's like CHA or something like that. And then for the rest of the series, the moon is CHA in there. I think he does it.
Yeah, it's still like that, it makes it well done. Yeah.
Okay, my number 5. This was really hard for me. It was tough to narrow it down because I have many comics. But there's this guy here, David. He's a really good writer of superhero comics, and his like ultimate series was when he took over the Hulk back in the 80s. And up to that point, he wrote the Hulk for 12 years or so. And up to that point, the Hulk had just kind of been known for Hulk smash, you know, just mindless destruction. And Peter David turned it more into like a manifestation of one of Bruce Banner's many facets of his personality. And he gave Bruce Banner a father who abused him when he was a child, and that's why this Hulk personality is sort of like angry child that resulted as part of that. And then he started exploring other parts of Bruce Banner's personality. There was a great Hulk that was kind of the streetwise, smart alecky guy, and he became a bouncer at a bar days or something like that. His name was Joe Fixit. And then this psychologist Leonard Sampson, he helped Bruce Banner sort of bring all these different facets of his personality into one. And all of a sudden, the Hulk was this big, strapping, handsome guy who totally had his act together, and he had a nice hair and everything, and he was like a perfect person, you know, very intelligent and everything. And I just thought it was really inventive. And it's also he's really, really funny. He's a good writer. He has lots of moments of pathos and different there's humor, there's really, really tragedy and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's a really good series. And you can get that. They put out this trade paperback series called Hulk Visionaries. There's 5 trade paperbacks. They have David stories, so and check that out. You can see all the background in the 80s.
So my number 4 is another one that I read with my kids. This is an ongoing series called Inlet by Kazuo Kiyoshi. Started in 2008. So far there are 3 volumes. I think there's going to be a total of 5. He is American, born in Japan, and it is sort of a grand fantasy, kind of reminiscent of the Chronicles of Narnia. It stars a girl, Emily, and her brother Nathan. They go to their great grandfather's house, who is a very interesting guy, and they enter an alternate universe in which they have to battle an evil king and have lots of adventures along the way with their kind of quirky sidekicks, which is kind of anthropomorphic figures. And it's a lot of fun to read with my kids. I like to read voices, so I do sort of a nice collection of voices with them. And it is going to be made into a movie, which will come out next year with Will Smith's kids, Willow and Jake Smith.
No, it's beautiful. It looks like anime. It has an anime look to it.
Again, it was born in
Yeah,
Japan.
yeah, you can see it. You can really see it. It's lovely. Really beautiful drawings.
Karen?
My next one is, as many of you know, listen to this podcast. No, Buffy and Joss Whedon. And after Buffy the Vampire Slayer ended after 7 seasons, it wasn't over for me. No, it wasn't over. And so they, for a lot of people know that Buffy, they know Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the comic, and it's terrific. Joss Whedon is involved. I believe he's written some of them. Brett Yvonne. It's great. It's great. The graphics are terrific. The story terrific. It's a lot racier and weirder than the television series, which doesn't surprise me. And it's just terrific because it's all of our Buffy characters that we know.
It basically picks up where the series left off.
Yeah.
They call it season 8.
Yeah, exactly. It's where everyone left off.
And it's done by Justin wrote many of them. There's a TV writer, Drew Goddard, who he works with J.J. Abrams on some things. And I forget the other guy's name. Anyway.
It's funny. It's great. If you're a fan of Buffy, I recommend checking it out.
Cool. Okay, my number 4 is, I don't have a lot of the comics that I'm talking about. I was telling you earlier when I was a kid, my brother sold a bunch of comics and sold them for credit. And when I was looking through all Apple comics recently, this was like 20 years ago, but I was just telling me to see which ones were missing, reminded over, and I wanted more of those.
But you move past that, and you know what I read.
So there was this comic called New Mutants that's written by Chris Claremont, who he's the guy who made the X-Men back in the 70s, 80s, and it's young kids with these powers and trying to figure out how to deal with them and their life angst and everything. But at one point, it went from being more of a traditional style art, kind of like this one I have here with panels and recognizable people and stuff like that. This guy builds Sienkiewicz on, and if you can see this over here, he's an artist, like more like a traditional artist, not a comic book artist.
Yeah.
And the characters are just really harshly drawn.
Yeah.
And the panels, like, now in comics, you see a lot of interesting creative ways of doing panels. But this was back in the 80s, it was like totally avant-garde.
Yeah.
And it's a mainstream book. And when I first saw that, I was like, what the hell is this guy doing to these characters that I love? This isn't a comic book anymore. I was so mad. I was like 12 years old or whatever. And as time went on, I think he did 18 or 20 issues. I just came to love it now. He's one of my favorites. It's so different and pretty looked at. And anybody who's in comics has sort of Bill Sienkiewicz. He's a very unique figure in the world of comic artists. So anyway, that's one of my favorite runs of comic book. Bill Sienkiewicz back in the 80s. And this is his name. Where did it go? It's spelled Sienkiewicz. It's Polish.
Yeah.
And I always call him Bill Sienkiewicz. Sienkiewicz.
All right.
Next.
So my number 3 is a really random stuff. This is the classic Sin City by Frank Miller, which was published by Dark Horse Comics from 91 to 2000, and it's been collected in 7 editions, which are called yarns. I'm sure you can see the movie.
Yeah.
The thing I really love about this is most of the comics novels that I'm not into, I love stories so much, but with Sin City, with the art, it's really strong. He drew the work, and I really love. Each piece, or some of the pictures could just be, they're so striking in their simplicity, this detail, and they're all done in black and white, just little hints in some pictures with color, like some be yellow, some be red, and it's just really striking artwork. It's basically done in the film noir style, both the artwork and the story is kind of the classic Pulp Fiction style.
Right. Appropriate for
It's super violent and sexy. It's love.
Okay, my turn. So, obviously, Walking Dead is my new favorite. I'm not letting myself progress because I don't want to get spoiled. So you can get when I watch the show, you're eventually going to get the reaction of somebody who's not caught up to the show. And then when the show's all done, I'm going to be all the that's
Okay, my number 3 is there's these. I find I follow comics based on what writers I like. Just looking at these 5, actually, they all are. And this one is Grant Morrison's New X-Men. Grant Morrison is this amazing writer who writes these often mind-bending comics. One of his most famous Invisibles, which a lot of people say Matrix was kind of a ripoff of Invisibles. And he like did a lot of acid comic books and stuff. And New X-Men, he took over when Marvel was about to go bankrupt, and so he kind of let him do whatever he wanted. And before that, the X-Men were just a small group of heroes that were based in this school, but it wasn't really a school. And then they only had a few students. And now with him, with Grant Morrison, they brought in all these other young mutants, so it's like full of students running around and all the different teachers, and they have these really interesting, innovative characters. This guy's Orange Brain is a star, and
wow.
And this mutant drug called Kit that supercharges mutant abilities, some students get found, and all this weird stuff like that. And what I love the most about it is, as a long time you'll sit there and just blast through a comic in like a few minutes. And but Grant Morrison can't do that. You'll miss a lot because there's a lot of subtext in what everybody says, And so if you don't sit there and pay close attention to it, you'll miss it. But if you do it, it's sort of warnings and stuff like that.
Wow, great.
So how the movie touched on this series of comics?
Actually, the first movie came out before Grant Morrison started writing that series, and he kind of followed suit because that was how it was in the movie with lots of different students and external teachers, So he followed suit with that. I think there are things that, especially in this movie coming out for X-Men for class next month, there's this really hot chick called Emma Frost who used to be that guy. Now she's with X-Men. That was Grant Morrison's doing, I think. So there are some things that he did that are coming in the movie for sure.
They have any of the original characters and actors?
Oh, yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, cool. It's of the ones. Well, when we saw that number 4, I was going to say the recommends. I don't know really say if you're interested in for sure. I have those, so I don't know if you want. All right.
Do you offer all of this?
Yeah, sure. I'll be library. Who's next?
Yeah, so one of the series that I really love, which is Usagi Yojimbo, written and illustrated by Stan Sakai. Originally published in 1987, and the series is still going strong like 27 years later. And it stars Usagi Yojimbo, which means red blackguard. And he originally thought he would draw these as people, but he was kind of playing around with it, and the idea of finding the right ears and the top knot, and really that. So the characters are basically anthropomorphic figures of real people. Usagi Yojimbo is a Ronin, which is basically a masterless samurai. So he wanders the countryside and has different adventures. This series is heavily influenced by Japanese cinema. He makes a number of references to Akira Kurosawa, and the name Yojimbo comes from a Kurosawa movie in the 60s. And it features quite a bit of 17th century Japan and Japanese folk art. And it has a considerable of novel-length narratives and short stories, which extend into larger storylines that have been going on for years. It also reminds me quite a bit of series I love Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Usagi Yojimbo is
Well, I can picture it right your side. I can picture it perfectly. Yeah, because it has been a.
He has appeared in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's it.
Oh, like a crossover? Yes. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
More animation.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Kind of. Cool. Okay, my number 2 favorite comic ever is Walking Dead, which I love, and I like it because I wonder how many people have read it. If you haven't read it, you should go give us a rating on iTunes and maybe you can win a copy of the first edition. But it's really, I mean, I've collected so many comics, and it's my number 2 favorite. It's the characters are so well done, it's so restrained, it feels real, it's very grounded, so it feels like real people you're reading about, and I like that. It just makes it more authentic, and it's zombies story, and it makes it that much more impactful because you feel like reading about real people. And he's not afraid to kill off characters, as you've seen in the show, and he promises you'll continue to see, and it's just very, very good. When I read it, I get attached to the characters and they die, I feel like really bad, so that's fun. I highly recommend it.
It's great.
I'm looking forward to the series more kind of approach as I can with each show.
Yeah, if you keep going, you'll, well, I mean, I swear, as far as you read, you're going to be both a long time. I don't know if you'll get to where you are.
They're not making much progress.
Yeah, I mean, the first season I got through the first 6 issues, so we'll see if they have 13 episodes for season 2, so we'll see if that continues on.
Right.
I had a feeling they'll divert even more this time.
Yeah.
But
I like how the show basically had 2 episodes that had nothing to do with comics, so it's
yeah,
really live.
totally. And Kermit loves that too. He said.
And he develops terrific characters. I really good attention to that.
Yeah, they're very distinct.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Again, with my Carl, the Carl that's portrayed in the TV show is much different than the Carl in the comic so far.
Oh, you think so? How's it different? I know it's
Well, the end of the first collected edition,
I think his character's gonna go more. He's very dark, and like I think somebody maybe said actually Carl's one of the darkest characters in the series.
Yeah, there's a lot of Rick Dean.
You're right. That's true. Yeah, I think so. So
my number 1 is in the middle of reading Just Lost Fables, which was created and written by Bill Willingham and a large team of writers and illustrators. And it is published by Vertigo. I think that there are 104 issues into it, 14 collected editions, and it features characters from basically Western fairy tales and folklore who refer to themselves as fables, and they have been forced out of their homeland, which is sort of like alternate universe enforced out by the adversary. And as you read on, I don't want to spoil it. The leader of the adversary is a very interesting and well-known figure in folk tales. And the fables and travels to our world and form a clandestine community in New York City, which they call Fabletown. These sort of blend in, and then those fables are unable to blend in with the human society, such as monsters and anthropomorphic animals live at the farm in upstate. And again, it's even though they're taking characters from childhood, it's not a series that can portray lots of sex and violence. And so the main characters are each and they are Big Wolf, Big Bad Wolf, Snow White, Boy Blue, and Prince Charming. And it's Bill Williams is really a very prolific writer. They come up with this series and a whole number of spin-off series. One called Jack the Fables, the also the Jack the Beanstalk, Jack the Beanstalk. So he has his own series. Then they're working on their second novel, which is a Fables novel, and I can't recommend it enough. Just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
yeah, we're getting to that for sure.
No, I'm surprised that you were include Mouse as one of your
Yeah.
Mouse is one of my. I started to. It Mouse is not my favorite, but I started thinking because the graphic novel. Does the graphic novel really count? Blah,
Did
blah,
Mouse come out episodic first? I mean, not
I believe it didn't. It came out. It came out. Well, sorry, it came out volume 1, volume 2, but there are only 2 volumes in it. And it's Art Spiegelman's father's story of how he escaped Nazi Germany and spent time in concentration camps, he and his wife. And it is a heavy graphic novel, but it's amazing.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, one It's again graphic novel. It's not just superheroes. It's all just history.
Most good. I mean, mainly comics have to do superheroes, so that would be
the
great.
very series where the Jews are portrayed as mice and the Nazis are portrayed as cats.
Yeah, and his wife who is French. She's a she's something else entirely different animal. It's adorable. It's just adorable and horrifying and incredible as all good novels are. Yeah, it's amazing. If you want to read something spectacular and you like the graphic novel format, then check out Art Spiegelman's Mouse. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It counts.
Oh yeah, I mean, people think of comic books as a genre, and superheroes, and that's a genre, but comics are a medium. That's it's just a art with telling stories through art.
Telling stories,
So it doesn't
right.
have to be anything.
Is there a difference between comic book and graphic novel?
I think of graphic novels as being collected comics, but now they collect just about every story into what they're called trade paperbacks. I don't really call them graphic novels. Graphic novels is kind of the name for a collected edition. People don't even admit that like superhero stories at all. It's a little bit more lyrics sounding, but
And
same thing.
the thing with novels is it tells a story and it has a beginning, middle, and end. And it's not continuing like that. And by the way, I have homework. David said, this is really name that you're talking about because you haven't read much. So it's like that. You mentioned it.
Yeah, that was one of those that was not into my.
Yeah.
So everybody has that in the top 5.
Right. So this is top 5, and he's in the so it's not next up. But if I just didn't read New York, I love New York.
My number 1 is another superhero, Chris Claremont's X-Men from the 70s, late 70s, 80s. This is what got me in comics in the first place, which I told him one time I was a comic convention. He popped up and cried. It was really cool. But the characters are really complex plotting. He has he could do this back then. He had plot threads that would come up and disappear, and my little photo brain would be, why do you put that in there? And then like a year later it would come back, and something would come to fruition because of it. And that was really satisfying. These days comics aren't doing nearly as well, so they can't ever be sure the comic's going to be around that long. So they have stories told in like 6 issue arcs, so they can collect it into these trade paperbacks. So we'll have annual end. But back then it was more fluid and it would be long form. I just those stories, like the characters are so real in my mind. Wolverine, he wrote Wolverine on the map. He created Wolverine's character as this sort of stoic cigar smoking guy who would go to these berserker rages and he had articles and all that stuff. And yeah, just I mean really good stuff.
What do you thought of the movies?
I like the first one and the second one a lot, and I thought the third one kind of sucked. And yeah, but they really pay respect to Chris Claremont stuff in those movies.
What do you think of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
Really good. Yeah. I mean, the only thing is Wolverine's supposed to be like 5'2" or something.
Oh, no
He's
kidding.
short,
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is Hugh Jackman is He's in
He's
right now.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
The third one was on Future Lord.
No.
Okay, that was the fourth one.
That was a separate movie, like a side thing. I absolutely like that. There was 3 X-Men movies. Yeah, and the first 2 I thought were some of the best superhero movies ever made. If I had honorable mentions, they would be. Well, if I thought Calvin Hobbes would have been on the list.
See?
But that's a Sunday strip.
I think it's collected into Compendium.
Okay, if I was going to put Calvin Hobbes on my list, it would probably go. It would probably be number 2.
Yeah.
Above Walking Dead.
Wow.
Calvin Hobbes.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison, the other great stuff, Invisibles. Week 3, which is about a dog, a cat, and a rabbit who are outfitted with this like they become cyborgs because of military experimentation, then they escape, and the kind of partway intelligence of the dog will talk a little bit, food hungry, like and they have really powerful thing, like kill people with the lines.
Wow.
That's crazy. There's too many movies of that. But,
That's great.
My favorite character of all time is Spider-Man.
Yeah. He's a very complex character. I love him. Yeah, no, absolutely. I only not because of the comic because I've seen the movies.
Yeah, sure.
And the movies were so far done by him. Thank you.
They're good too. Yeah, but yeah, they would stay close to comics.
Yeah.
It's always good.
The one mention I had to leave off my list was Sandman, which is really a series of people's top comics and then top of the
Yeah,
number.
I love that.
Pretty kind of intellectual.
Yeah. Was that in the movie?
Not yet.
Wait.
But tonight, or the episode of Doctor Who that Jared haven't seen yet,
Yeah.
was written by the guy who wrote Sandman. Neil Gaiman.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's all kinds of stuff. Oh, that's
So I'm looking forward. I think there's 2 part or maybe 2. I don't even know. But anyway, yeah, I would say that he's gonna be good.
Wow, I just saw David so I hadn't seen yet, and it's super and so far I'm like, oh,
Yeah. I'm liking Matt Smith more now. Not more David, more.
I saw the first 2 episodes of the new season. There's so it's great. I love it.
Okay, we're going to lunch, so let's move along. Next time we're going to be doing the 5 people that you want with you in the zombie apocalypse. So it's you and 5 other people. It can be anybody you want. This could be a fancy list. Could be your people living at, I don't know, like historical figures.
Sure.
Okay,
Why not? Yeah, living
Anyway,
better. Yeah.
But it has to be a real person.
Yeah.
Right?
People,
Yeah, Superman.
no, you can't Superman. That would be your person. That would be people can take care of me.
Anything of your friends?
No, it can be Andrew Clark, what's his name? Andrew. Okay, let's move on to some news about Walking Dead. No, not news about Walking Dead. This week in zombies.
Unfortunately, we already talked about 2 movies that came out literally to my face from this week. So I can mention I got a really nice email from a guy Kevin in Titusville, Florida, who ran the Next podcast, Don't Give It, and he forwarded an article to us from CNN.com. And the article was from, let's see, I'll say date on the article, but if you go to CNN.com and you search for Inside Zombie Brains, Sci-Fi Teaches Science, it's a really interesting article, a really long, interesting article, all about the scientific possibility of zombies. And it was fascinating. I recommend going to read it. I'll read the first couple lines. It says, airborne viruses about people and zombies, two-thirds of humanity has been wiped out. Scientists desperately look for a cure, even as own brains deteriorate and disease robs them of what we consider life. Relax, at least now. The apocalyptic scenario frames a new novel, The Zombie Autopsies, by Dr. Stephen Schlossman, a child psychologist and psychiatrist who holds positions at Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital McLean Program in Child Psychiatry. He might expect someone with those potentials to take zombies seriously, but it turns out the undead are a great way to explore real-world health issues, why certain nasty diseases can destroy the brain, how global pandemics create chaos and fear, and what should be done about people infected with highly contagious and incurable lethal illness. Quote, one of the things zombie models do is they bring these existential concerns that happen in medicine all the time. How do you define what lives, says Schlossman, who has been known to bounce between zombie fan conventions and academic meetings. When is it appropriate to say someone's as good as dead, which is an awful, when is it appropriate to say someone's as good as dead, which is an awful difficult decision. So yeah, super cool. So I recommend going to check out our article again.
Or you can go to podcast.com.
Thank you.
Okay, good. That's good. All right, let's close out the show.
Let's do.
Okay, that's our show. Episode 31 first. I want to thank you, Don, for coming in.
Thanks so much. Great to see you.
I just want to mention contests really quick. We have 75 ratings on iTunes, so as soon as we get 80, we'll go into one of our trade paperbacks. If you haven't rated us yet, please go on there and do it. The more ratings, more ratings we get, the more likely we'll be able to do more great interviews for season 2 this year. So we appreciate that. Last time, I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned that we would have some big contest news this time, and we're not going to have any. I actually do, but I want to have the guy on the meetings if someone to talk about it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited to wait. Because the contest has to do with season 2, so we'll wait till we're close to season 2
Great,
about
great.
that. So stay tuned for that. Our next episode, we decided to go ahead, since we talked about Love of so much that we're going to watch Shaun of the Dead.
Yep. And if you haven't, back in
Yes, if you have, it's about time you watch it.
Yeah, super.
And FS5 is the people you want with us, or you want you in Zombie Apocalypse.
Right. Sean might be one of them. Go find out.
So you want to talk about Game of Thrones? Or?
Yeah, so I went a show that we've all been watching that I think we all really like so far is Game of Thrones on HBO. And if you can watch it, please do go and watch it. So far, unloaded. I think it's great. There's been 4 shows. Yeah, Don, you want anything?
I love it. It's really well done. Some of the images of King's Landing and Winter's Landing are amazing.
One of the best serial opening credits montages I've ever seen. It's amazing. HBO did not spare any expense in the show. It is unbelievably well done. Yeah.
And it's all about power struggle, deceit, and sex, and all those kinds of exciting things. It's a very rich, complex plot. It's hard for me to keep track of, but Jenny helps me.
It's a good book.
No,
Yeah,
she's just
yeah.
smarter than I am.
She's smarter than you all.
But it's yeah, it's very well done. It's
Yeah.
something really super deep into.
Yeah.
Acting's great. The dwarf, you know,
Yeah, the
that's
dwarf.
my friend Dan's cousin.
No,
He knows him.
yeah, he
Yeah,
and he was in one of my favorite results station. Oh, he's so great. He's perfect for this role. He's great. Oh no, he's gonna be really like really oh,
Yeah,
he's
he's
fabulous.
awesome.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. And he's an important character in the book, and he's important in the show. They're really following the book beautifully. They really are. These are all of them. I've only read the first book. Huge books. They're great. If you want a good summary, delve into those. The first one called Game of Thrones. And then go. It's Songs of Fire and Ice. It's series. Also, I want to mention that True Blood is coming back in June on June 26th. It's the season premiere of True Blood, and by all means, we'll probably wait for a couple of the shows to be aired, and we'll probably do a weapon cast and focus on True Blood.
Which my friend Don hates, so I'll make sure to warn you people who hate that so you can skip that episode.
Yeah, it's here. Look at True Blood. So good.
Hi, Don. He loves it.
Does he?
Yeah. Okay, if you'd like to give us a call, you can call us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323.
You can email us at brains@washingtoncast.com.
You can check out our website and leave comments at washingtoncast.com.
We're also on Twitter at Jason Karen, and you can find us at facebook.com/daycast.
So we have one last piece of business to get to, and then that's the end. You know what it is, right? Let's hear it.
Nicely done.
I'll be eating next week. All right, that's our show.
Thanks for listening.
Don't
Okay.
forget.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Rick Beck, and I'm Voice Jeff. Welcome to our Chart Topping Podcast from Harvard Business School. Think Big, Buy Small. This series lets you in on a special way to become an entrepreneur, how to buy your own business, be your own boss, and get financial benefits of your efforts. Entrepreneurship through acquisition involves searching for existing, enduringly profitable smaller business and buying it, usually from a retiring founder. After a brand new season, our conversations with guests from all backgrounds and different stages of the entrepreneurship through acquisition journey. From those considering whether this path is right for them, all the way through those who have sold their business to take researchers and ran CEOs, thousands of smaller firms sold every year, and many people successfully acquired existing business that is enduringly profitable. So why not you too? We've been helping students understand this less travel path to personal and professional independence in our courses at Harvard Business School for nearly 15 years. But you don't have to attend Harvard Business School to take advantage of these opportunities. The goal of the Think Big, Buy Small podcast is to help you, our listeners, decide if entrepreneurship through acquisition is for you, and if it is, to help you take your first steps on the journey to buying your own business. Follow Think Big, Buy Small wherever you get your podcasts. It's hard to remember now, but the internet used to be fun.
I can't believe how easy it is to surf that.
Online channel, working the internet. We'll tell you what's fuel democracy.